A 31-year-old woman was arrested for screaming about the CIA outside a closed sandwich shop while holding a crack pipe and torch lighter. Her crime? Existing loudly near a children's dance studio. Her defense? She was smoking crack in what she called a public-private place, which apparently makes it legal in her mind. But the real headline came after cops cuffed her. She asked officers if they could communicate telepathically, then politely requested her crack pipe back at the detention center. This is Believe It or Bullshit. Meet Heather Elaine Whaley of La Plata, Maryland, a woman who discovered you can't scream paranoid conspiracy theories while holding drug paraphernalia if concerned parents are watching their kids pirouette 50 feet away. On November 14th, multiple calls flooded 911 about a woman yelling and chanting outside Apple Spice Junction. When Charles County Sheriff's deputies arrived, Whaley was in full meltdown mode, rapidly rambling about the military and the CIA like she'd cracked the fucking code to Area 51. She wasn't hiding the crack pipe either. She was just holding it out in the open. Bold strategy. Now here's where basic physics and Maryland law had a disagreement with Whaley's understanding of reality. She admitted to smoking crack cocaine, no shame, full confession, but insisted it was perfectly fine because she was in a public-private place. Let's pause here. A public-private place, that's not a thing. That's never been a thing. That's like saying you're driving a parked car or cooking raw chicken that's also fully cooked. The officers, bless them, did not have a checkbox on their incident report for suspect believes she exists in quantum superposition. According to the Baynet, when deputies tried to process what the hell public-private place meant, Whaley just kept going. She had the crack pipe, she had the torch lighter, she had the rapid-fire CIA theories. What she didn't have was any awareness that parents dropping off children at a dance studio might not appreciate the free dinner theater. The calls kept coming in. The deputies had no choice. They arrested her for possession of drug paraphernalia and disorderly conduct. But this is where Heather Whaley became a goddamn legend. Mid-arrest, while being handcuffed and read her rights, she asked the arresting officers if they could communicate with her telepathically, not as a joke, as a genuine question. Like, maybe if she thought hard enough about her Miranda rights, the cops would just pick up the brainwaves and skip the paperwork. The deputies did not confirm or deny their psychic abilities. They just kept doing their jobs, which is impressive restraint given the fucking absurdity of the question. She wasn't done. At the detention center, after booking, after processing, after everything, Whaley made one final request. She asked if she could have her crack pipe back. The pipe, the paraphernalia, the literal evidence, the thing that got her arrested. She wanted it returned like it was her phone or her wallet. The audacity is almost inspiring. Most people in lockup are calling lawyers or family. Heather Whaley was negotiating for pipe custody. So let's review. A woman smoked crack outside a kid's dance studio, invented a new legal category called public-private space, got arrested while discussing CIA conspiracies, asked cops if they had telepathy, then tried to reclaim her drug paraphernalia like it was personal property from a code check. Maryland's finest went home that night with one hell of a story and zero telepathic breakthroughs. But don't worry, shit only gets weirder from here. If you thought that was stupid, buckle up. A Waterloo man got arrested for drunk driving in Guelph, Ontario on November 2nd. Standard DUI, right? Wrong. Less than 5 hours after his first arrest, after being processed, after being released, after presumably having time to reflect on his choices, this absolute genius got behind the wheel drunk again and was arrested by the exact same police department. Same cops, same crime, same night. It's like getting kicked out of a bar and immediately trying to sneak back in wearing the same shirt. Let's set the scene. It's November 2nd in Guelph, and this Waterloo resident whose name wasn't released, probably out of mercy, gets pulled over for impaired driving. Officers process him, charge him, and release him with conditions. Standard protocol. The whole thing probably took 2, maybe 3 hours. He walks out of the police station a free man with one simple instruction: don't fucking drive drunk. That's it. One rule. The easiest rule in the world to follow when you don't have a car anymore because it's been impounded, but here's where it gets so much worse. This man, freshly released from his first DUI arrest, decided the best course of action was to immediately get access to another vehicle and drive it while still drunk. Not the next day, not even 6 hours later. Within 5 hours of his first arrest, he was back on the road, hammered, cruising through Guelph like he had diplomatic immunity. Guelph police didn't even have time to finish the paperwork from arrest number 1 before they were pulling him over again. Now, you'd think getting arrested twice in one night would require some geographical distance, maybe different jurisdictions, perhaps a trip to another county. Nope, same city, same police service. According to Guelph Police Service, officers recognized him immediately during the second stop. They'd literally just seen this guy hours earlier. The ink on his first charge sheet wasn't even dry. Some cops spend entire careers never arresting the same person twice for the same crime. These officers did it before their shift ended. The second arrest happened so fast that Guelph police had to issue a media release just to explain the sheer fucking audacity of what they'd witnessed. This wasn't a clerical error or mistaken identity. This was one man, 2 arrests, 5 hours, and apparently 0 survival instinct. He now faces multiple impaired driving charges from both stops, which means he'll get to explain to a judge how he managed to fail the same test twice in the time it takes to binge watch half a season of a TV show. Here's the kicker. Between arrests, he had to have made multiple decisions. He had to find another vehicle. He had to get the keys. He had to decide that despite being freshly arrested for DUI, despite the impound fees, despite the court date already on his calendar, drinking and driving again was the move. Each decision was an off-ramp. Each moment was a chance to call a cab, phone a friend, or just sit down and rethink his entire life. He took none of those exits. So there you have it. A man so committed to poor choices that he turned a single DUI into a same-day doubleheader. Guelph police probably started a pool on when he'd show up for round 3. They didn't have to wait long. Well, they didn't have to wait at all because 5 hours is nothing. Some people learn from mistakes. Others get arrested twice before dinner. Real stories, real stupid, really happened. That's believe it or bullshit. Sound off in the comments. Hit that subscribe button because God knows what other insane shit I'm going to dig up next time.